year is probably the most disappointing defensive performance that we've had. We just did not do a good job. If one player gets 70 points in 2 games, can't blame your players for that. You got to blame the coach. We tried to do different things. We tried to double them with different people, and they would hit a three right off the bat. But the threes didn't really hurt us. They had 7 of them with a lot of open looks. I thought we couldn't cover him. We didn't cover him. He gets in there. He's physical. You can't push him out. I was disappointed in that a little bit. And then the play before half, give them credit. Their 4 guys had 24 points. That at our place almost had none. Morton, he gets 6. And Newman, he gets 3. And Jenkins played well. I thought Jenkins did a nice job for them. He gets 11. That was a big deal. And Kaufman gets 4. That's 20-some points between those 4 guys. I thought that was the difference. We did a decent job on Lawyer. He a great player, and I thought he hits that 3 real late. Otherwise, what does he end up with? 9. So we did a decent job on Smith. But as I said about Matt's team, and I reiterate this, it's the best role coaching job, I think, in the nation. He first is a hell of a player, and he barely takes a shot, but he plays his role to the nth degree. Very, very, very good at it. When we cut it to 10, the halftime, they hit the 3 because of, I don't know, guess it was a good call. I don't think officials make bad calls. So, we're going for the last shot and could cut it to, what would we cut it to, 15 or 14, and instead they hit a 3 and I get a technical for questioning something, and not on the guy didn't give it to me that I was questioning, and so that's 5 points, So that's really a 7-point swing. 2 we don't get, 3 they hit, and the technical. So that's a 7-point swing, and Purdue's too good of a team to make 7-point swings. Where I give my team credit, we bounced back. We played our butt off. We had 4 possessions late when we had a 10-point lead. We threw it out of bounds once. We traveled once. Didn't even get shots when we cut it to 10. And I think that's what the game was over. But Edie played awfully well. They did an unbelievable job of getting him the ball. And I'll take questions.
Tom, I guess what does Edie do best? Because it seemed like there were a lot of things in terms of footwork, vision, with kicking out to some guys. And how much does that maybe alter some things?
He didn't kick out much. He got it so deep because, you can't force him out. I think he had a couple assists. One was inside. He just gets it so deep. And, Marty at 6'9", 225 has given up, some inches and hard to front him, and it's hard to do that. So, but as I said, my writers, we got people that want to double them and give up threes, and then we got people that want to not give up threes, and we tried both, and neither one worked today. Give them credit.
Tom, back here. In the first half with Edie, he had an 8-0 run, let alone by himself. And so in the midst of that, from the dunk, you called the timeout. But what specifically did he do in there where you felt like you needed to call a timeout?
What did he do? He'd be bigger than any player that I've ever coached against. He'd be more skilled with his hands than any player I've ever coached against. And they do a great job of getting him the ball. So I don't know what he did. I mean, they do not call 3 seconds, and they do not. I mean, he can back you down. You can't do much about it. And I don't think that's always right. But we tried to double him from a couple of spots, and sometimes we fell asleep, something we don't do a lot. And sometimes he just powered over that. And I don't know how many free throws did he end up with. When you play a game like that, he has 12 free throws. I mean, they're fouling three times at the end to get the 5 fouls, I think, So they don't foul much, I guess, and that was a big difference in the game, too.
Tom, over here, you talked about the struggles defensively, but it felt like on the offensive end, there never seemed to be a lot of rhythm, especially when you would get it close. Guys like Joey didn't do much.
No.
Tyson with some shots, maybe. I guess just overall offensively, did it feel like there was never
Never any
really
rhythm.
great rhythm? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that's good. And it shows you how much statistically is crazy because we shot 48%, 50 from the 3. And I couldn't agree with you more, which really saddens me that I agree with a media guy. But you're right on the money, seriously. I mean, I didn't think there was any rhythm. Jaden, did some good things, but boy, when it was critical, he just, we didn't slow it down. We didn't get into things. And I thought we did a better job. We kept the ball in the middle of the court, but we didn't get Joey going. We didn't get Tyson going very much. And those two things hurt a lot. And some of that is on us. Some of it's our quarterback's got to know that. But, yeah, I would say that's a fair criticism on no rhythm, and yet you shoot 48 and 50. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
Tom, there was one offensive rebound from Zach, I think early in the second half over Maudie. Maudie kind of shrugged his shoulders, almost as if to say, I don't know what to do. He came off the floor. You talked to him for a minute right there on the sideline. Maudie's undersized as it is already at center, especially against a guy like Zach. What do you say to him in a game like this when Edie dominates like that, and to any of the other guys who are just doing the best they can, but it's just not enough?
Well, I wouldn't say the best we can. I mean, there were some plans we had, and one of Marty's things was when that guy, when anybody shoots it, he just goes to him and doesn't get a rebound. And he was just turning, and Zach's pretty good at using his body, mulling you under, and then when he's 6, 7 inches bigger than you, he's good. I mean, he's really good at it. So I don't think, he should totally shrug. Some of it was on us. Some of it was on him. But I also think that some of it is the guy had a hell of a game. He's a good player, and give Matt credit. They went to him. And what did I say to him? Keep battling. Keep battling. I understood.
With AJ, you mentioned about needing a quarterback to do more things. One of the things that he seemed like he was going to the basket a little bit more and trying to draw contact. I guess, what does he need to do to be that better leader?
Run our team. He did do a nice job of that. But when you get it to 10, that's where the Cassius is, or, let's get a good shot. Let's slow down. We throw it ahead. We got a couple guys that just go like a bat out of hell, and we got to control that. But I thought he did a good job. Other than that, that stretch when he missed the 2 free throws, I think it was 10 or 11 then or something, and that's a demoralizing thing that happens. But to his credit, he made 7 out of 9, so he made 7 other ones after that. I thought he did do a good job of getting it in there. He was supposed to be the double guy a couple times, and as always, with us right now, I think we played him a little too much and got tired and maybe didn't do that. We had him on different guys. And the place was electric, a great crowd. And, maybe that got to us a little bit.
Tom, you mentioned earlier about Matt's got his guys playing in the roles. What evidence are you seeing about that helps explain how that's happening?
If I was to be honest, I'd say with every guy. They know they got a horse to ride, and the horse gets a lot of touches, and some people would be jealous of that or upset about that. Fletcher Lawyer can get you 25. Doesn't seem to bother him not to take. He took like 4 shots most of the game, took a couple at the end. Smith has gotten some big games, doesn't bother him. The real one is Caleb First, great kid, and takes 2 shots, but he just does his job. They pass it, they do it, and it is easier now, somebody, especially on my media, would say, well, then why don't you do that? But when at the end of the day you can stop anywhere this side of the equator and throw the ball in the air, and this monster is going to go get it, it makes it a little easier. Seriously, I mean, I'm not being funny. It's always, when we had Miles Bridges, if you just threw a lob, it didn't have to be a good lob. It didn't have to be a decent lob. It could be a terrible lob, and he was going to save the day, and Edie's even better than that in those ways, So I just think the fact that there's no jealousy, at least it doesn't seem to be. Some of those guys were scorers like Newman and even Gillis, and it's easier when you're 22-1 or whatever they are. It's easier, but I think Matt's done that his whole career here. I think that's what if I had to give him credit, yeah, he runs a lot of good stuff offensively. He's a good defensive coach, but I think he puts his players in a position and doesn't allow any deviation. And I got a lot of respect for that.
Hey, Coach, you're in Matt's house. Both you guys follow legends.
I didn't let me
experiences.
stay there last night. I was a little disappointed in that.
Well, I mean, you guys are fierce on-the-court rivals, but good friends. What's it like for you to see Matt get the success and achieve the success in his program? And, as you've kind of mentored a lot of these guys that have come up through behind you.
Well, this is a special relationship here. I still talk to Gene once in a while. He still calls. And, Gene, Judd, Bruce Weber, Matt, myself, I mean, Bruce and Matt and Tom, I don't deserve much credit today, but 13 years with Judd, I deserve a hell of a lot of credit. And Matt played for Gene and then coached with him. He deserves a lot of credit. But I think we all learned a lot, too, from those guys. And it's sad that I think those guys are still special, And I've tried to keep the Michigan State program with some sense of discipline and things that my mentor set me with. And I think Matt has done the same thing, I'm probably as ornery as my boss. Matt's a little calmer, although when you're winning 22 games, I always said Mike Krzyzewski could sit there looking like Pope John III on the bench because they're winning a lot of games. But I think he has that fine line between discipline and getting along with his players. And he's done a hell of a job here, I hope people appreciate the job he's done. And I think they do, looking at the arena today. And so it's good, and our arena has been unbelievable this year, too. So it should have been a game that was a lot closer, if you ask me. But they made sure it wasn't, and that credit goes to them.